Go. Going live. Live. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing tonight? This your boy, King Gabe in the house. And, oh boy, we're back. Finally can get to the third Yumeko book. What we was trying to do Tuesday night, but had all that storm interference and stuff. The storm actually has, but yeah, apparently, I guess some of the after effects were, I don't know, internet was still acting crazy, but we're back now. Oh, hold on one second, I almost forgot something. Right there. There we go. That's better. All right. Yeah, we go. All right. So yeah. But yeah, we ain't got no interference today. As I said, got alerted everybody. Should be coming in soon and everything there. Especially my boy EJ the Supreme. No. So yeah, it's quite a bit. If you notice, scroll down. See, I got my Star Striker shirt. This is actually it's not it's not quite the same as that Star Striker. It's a different this a different universe Star Striker here. Now there's a chance that he might have a costume change eventually in this series. Um, who knows? Might be similar to this. You never know, but we will know. But like I say, but either way, it's a different universe there. Matter of fact, the universe this one comes from is actually this one, one of the Star Striker 2017 comic series, where he went from this to where he went to that there. Let's see, get a better picture of. Oh, hold on, let me. A second there. Oh, that's so cute. We did it. We did it. All right, here. Definitely that look. So now you see where this look comes from. So yeah, because he got this kind of towards the because there's six books of the comic of the 2017 comic. There's six books of these, and kind of toward book number 5 is when he got this new outfit, like what I got on my shirt here. And I also have another shirt in my closet. I'm not, like I say, but it's in the other room. But where he has the other costume like this here. So yeah, that's where this is from here. Also got a poster in the other room with that same picture. On one of I pinned it up to one of my doors. It's a picture that I used in a book signing years ago there. So yeah, like I say, and of course, like I say, so yeah, that is that universe. The one we're about to get into of Yumiko, and like I say, and just a heads up, probably should be starting next week, unless if nothing else comes up, we should be starting Heroes of Dream next week. Yeah, here about another Star Striker from the 2010 era. Yeah, he got where he went from this to that there. What's up, AJ All Supreme? Yes, got you. All right. Say, and EJ is his likeness is in the Yumiko Star Striker. Yeah. Just to clarify, yeah, the Yumiko Star Striker is the one that has his likeness. All so yeah, this is the one, and as of now, Yumiko, this universe is kind of like I guess you could say the main universe, because there, and I say main because it's sort of like how you got the MCU stuff like that. because like I say, I am planning in the future a Strikerverse, sort of a multiverse thing, sort of like how you did with the Spider Verse. Um, be sure you definitely if anybody, especially anybody watching this, be sure you definitely sign up on that Patreon because there's a Patreon only video that explains about the Strikerverse and Flora. Oh yeah, Star Striker's little fairy partner there. Yeah, explain kind of let me get a better picture here. Like yeah, hold on. Right here. Yeah, which explains about Flora and the Strikerverse. Yeah, so yeah, definitely sign up on that Patreon because not only are you getting early access to videos before they hit YouTube because I got two other videos still on the Patreon that have not been released to YouTube yet. A couple of Yu-Gi-Oh manga readings, but also yeah, like I say, Patreon only exclusive. And there's probably going to be more in the future. All depends on what comes to mind. Matter of fact, another spoiler. I'll be working on some other videos tomorrow. Working on some other videos and probably some shorts. Yes, probably gonna be a full day for me tomorrow. More so a full morning for me because probably do a lot of it while my wife is at work and everything. While the queen's on the date is doing the Kroger thing. That's what I'll be here doing. So yeah, getting that together so y'all can get some more content there. Yep. So along with these live streams and everything, yeah. So yeah. Oh yeah. Yes indeed. Matter of fact, yes. Matter of fact, both of us kind of rested. Both of us. I had to work from midnight to 10 today. So I got she had to work from 6 to 2. And after we got off and everything, ran some errands, went back, got us something to eat at Subway. Yeah, we just finished eating there, so yeah, we just finished eating some rotisserie chicken flatbreads there with some shredded cheese. Well, she didn't have cheese on her, but I had cheese on mine. Had some spinach, some bell peppers, and some tomatoes. Oh yeah, definitely spinach. Yeah, I gotta have spinach on my sandwich. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about that spinach, but I just if they don't have spinach, I don't get the sandwich. I'm like, I gotta have spinach on that sandwich. So, and definitely Baja sauce. Ooh, Baja. And a little pepper and parmesan there, just to sort of mix it up a little bit. So, yeah, have that unusual eating there, but it is good when it's all together there. Oh boy. Yeah, I know you probably, and I know you, EJ. I know you probably had something real good to eat, or either you probably eating something right now. What you eating over there, EJ, or what have you eaten there? Yeah, and anybody else watch on the replay? Yeah, put in the comment section what did you eat the day that this live stream was released, or either whenever you're watching it there. Barbecue chicken. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, I feel like I'm in church. I got a family. He had that barbecue. Chicken pizza with a thin crust. Tell me something, church. Have you had barbecue chicken pizza with a thin crust? It's real juicy. Oh, hey, man. Barbecue, that chicken pizza, hey, man. Down. And a Coke Zero because it don't have no calories, but it got the flavor. You can have the flavor, but make sure you don't have the calories. That way you don't gain no weight. because Lord knows some of us, like myself, need to lose some of it. I'm just telling the truth here. Y'all get that when you get home. Yeah, yeah. And you know how they stand up, be patting the preach on the back, and be all grinning and everything. Yeah. Ooh, ain't nothing church. Hey, ain't nothing like being in church. Yeah, sure. And then say, now, yes, just like work. Like going on our job. Sometimes we get up in the morning, we don't feel like going, but hey, just go. Just go. If you ain't, if like I say, if everything, you ain't sick or anything, and you got the, yeah, you ain't like you. Just go. Just go. Cause trust me, every chance you get, go to church. Just go to church. So yeah, like I said, I have to tell myself that sometimes I'm just saying, because like I said, sometimes I have to have a battle with them. Like I don't feel like going. Oh, I really need to go. Yeah, be like that little devil and angel show. Like, you really should go to church game today. Don't listen to that guy. They got the church on TV. You can just stay home. Or better yet, you can just chill. I mean, you do Bible study every day. Don't worry about all of that. You ain't got to be with those people in the congregation. Don't listen to him. So, yep. All right. So let's get on into this here. The third novel of Yumeko, the Supreme Star Striker, with the likeness of EJ the Supreme. That's why the Supreme sort of like the Amazing Spider-Man or the Spectacular Spider-Man. Living on the edge, flying from the highest building of a Shreveport, Louisiana. The dealer's on the rise, even zippers on surprise. Got a fairy at his side, he's the zippers on the time. He's the supreme Star Striker. 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 After his first adventure in Yumeko, Samuel E. Princeton dons cape and cowl to become Star Striker, the Shreveport defender that strikes like a star. Flora offers to be his ferry partner, and the duo manages to foil a robbery at the All-Time Discovery Center. However, the Crooks boss plot to get revenge on them. So find out what happens. Ooh. So, yeah, yeah, and I tell you what, we first chance we get, we do some videos together. We gotta do some videos of us doing like some singing. We gotta sing together sometime. Yeah, like a double brother duet there. Like Hallelujah, Hallelujah. Yeah, that was your. I'm just gonna say, you did, and don't get me wrong, you did good with all the songs at the church, but that was the one I liked the best was Hallelujah. Yeah, that was, but to me that was the best one there. Because I mean, especially the movement in it. Never, you are worthy to. Yeah, ooh boy. It's like they say, sometimes people become a whole different person when they get into what they're good at there. Yeah. Yeah. All right. First chapter. One night in downtown Shreveport, on the rooftop of the Shreveport Convention Center, stood a boy dressed like a superhero. He had on a light gray sleeveless t-shirt with a yellow star on it, black sweatpants, blue tennis shoes with a yellow star on them, black gloves, a black mask, a yellow headband with blue stars on it, and a light blue cape. No capes! He looked out at the city, brooding, like he had seen other superheroes do in the comic books he read. The wind blew against his hair and cape. He was very serious and deep thought, thinking of the type of superhero he wanted to be and what other people would think of him. After that, he began to monologue to himself. I'm not your ordinary kid, here in Shreveport, born and raised. I will patrol these streets day and night to keep them safe. A few moments later, three crooks wearing ski masks entered the all-time Discovery Center. Their names were House, Monty, and Geek. As they stared and marveled at all the various machines, they had no idea that the boy was watching them. Check it out, fellas, said House. This is a big score tonight. I don't know what the plan is, but what plan for all this is, but I sure hope it's good. Yeah, said Gee. Perhaps we'll be selling it somewhere for some major bucks, bucks. It's a good thing that the boss was able to shut off the alarms and provide us the keys, said Monty. Nobody's ever going to catch us now. The boy thought to himself, that's what they think. On that note, he threw some smoke screen bombs, causing a lot of smoke to be released that blinded the crooks. Then the boy quickly took out his retractable bow staff and knocked the crooks to the ground. The boy raced toward the exit and said, hey, you knuckleheads, I bet you can't catch me. House managed to spot the boy going out the exit as the smoke began to clear and ran after him. Once he got outside, he didn't see the boy. He looked around as Monty and Gee got up and came outside. Okay, wise guy, shouted House. What's the big idea? A wise guy, you say? Said the boy with a grin. Then the crooks noticed him standing by their van, as he said, well, this wise guy is going to kick your tails. Monty and Gee picked up some nearby poles, and Monty said, let's ice this little punk. Yeah, I agree. We'll show him a thing or two, agreed Gee. The two ran toward the boy, but he jumped out of the way at the last minute, and the van door opened on his own. This caused Monty and Gee to fall inside the van. Why, you little brat, said House, charging at the boy next. The boy went to strike House with his staff, but House grabbed it. As House and the boy pulled at the staff, Monty and Gee got up and grabbed the boy from behind. This allowed House to take the staff. Now you're gonna get, said House. Just as he was about to strike the boy with the staff, the van drove off down the street. Monty and Gee dropped the boy and quickly ran after the van. House dropped the staff and ran after them. However, the boy threw a bunch of shurikens at the crook, knocking them down to the ground again. Then they were magically tied up as the van came to a stop. The boy vanished, and moments later a car came and stopped. Inside was their boss, and he was not pleased as he stepped out of the car and quickly untied House, Monty, and Gee. Then he said to them firmly, get your butts in here this instant with your Three Stooges looking selves. The trio quickly got inside the car along with the boss. Then as the boss started driving, he said, talk to me, House. We were about to start getting the machines into the van, but a kid dressed like a superhero came and ruined it for us all, said House. So let me get this straight, said the boss as his anger rose. You got beaten by a baby? Well, actually, House said it was a kid, not a baby, corrected Monty. Yeah, and technically speaking, Baby wouldn't be able to fight the way this kid did, added Geek. I mean, he has some pretty good moves there and everything. Shut up! Shouted the boss as he stopped the car and turned around to face Buzzy and Geek. Don't ever correct me when I'm talking to you pathetic idiots! We're sorry for correcting you, boss, said Geek, shaking in fear. Monty was shaking in fear too and said, no, we promise we won't do it again. But honest, we won't do it again. Yeah, what he said. The boss was silent for a while. Then he thought to himself, it looks like I'm going to have to call in a favor to teach that kid a lesson he won't soon forget. Meanwhile, Flora had poofed the boy home into his room. Where there he took off his mask, revealing he was Samuel. Not bad for your first night, she said. Thanks, said Samuel. Of course, you were a major help with that van. It was nothing, said Flora. We're like Food Cat and Food Bear, said Samuel. Well, in your case, a female version of Food Bear. I suppose. I think we're more like a Peter Pan and Tinkerbell duo, said Flora happily. Then she became angry and she continued. Definitely better than that little Miss Wendy. I never understood why he liked her over Tinkerbell. Flora stomped her feet hard as she turned red and flapped her wings rapidly. Then Samuel placed his hand on her shoulder and saying, whoa, calm down, Flora. It's just a story. Flora's wings stopped flapping and she became her normal color. She stopped stomping and took a deep breath and said, yeah, but that story was real at one point, like a lot of things in Yumeko. She got closer to Samuel and placed her hands on his shoulder and asked, you wouldn't banish me like the way Peter did to Tinkerbell, would you? Of course not, said Samuel. I never banished someone as cute as you. Flora looked deeply into Samuel's eyes and asked, do you promise? Samuel answered, I promise, Flora. Flora smiled, still looking into Samuel's eyes for a while. She said she was about to ask him another question until they heard footsteps approaching from a distance down the hall. Oh, that's my mom, whispered Samuel. You gotta go. Okay, said Flora. She quickly poofed Samuel back into his pajamas and asked, by the way, what's your superhero name gonna be? Samuel quickly thought for a second. Then he said, the Supreme Star Striker, because I'm the Shriekboard defender that strikes like a star. Awesome, said Flora with a smile. I'll see you later, Star Striker. She winked and poofed away back to Yumeko. Samuel quickly got in the bed to go to sleep, just as his mom, Lisa Princeton, entered to check in on him. Notice my narration voice was sort of similar to the Thomas the Tank Engine narrator. Yeah, think the George Carlin one. Yeah, we were just looking at some Thomas episodes today. I'm gonna get me some more in a little bit now. Whew, that's better. All right. Chapter 2. The next day, Samuel Hiko and another friend of theirs named Brian Valentino Robinson arrived at Yumeko at the Barnhart City Fire Station, number 1, really early. Brian was introduced to Brownie and Mr. Fluffles. After that, Brownie told the boys he was going to take them on a tour of Barnhart City once they had breakfast. Brian was also introduced to Julie, Tim, Melina, Flora, Gerald, Dashtail, Billy, and Emily. Anna arrived introducing herself to Brian, Samuel, and Hiko. Then everyone went into the dining room. Before they started eating, Mr. Fluffles said grace over the food. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed all of us gathered that trust in him. We thank you for this meal we are about to receive. Let it be a nutritious blessing for our bodies. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. After grace, Brownie stood and said, Before we start eating, I'd like to announce that Anna is going to start training to become a firefighter. Everyone applauded and congratulated Anna. Thank you, she said. It's a real honor to be a part of your team. Ever so much. I promise to do my very best to help keep everyone safe in the city, which includes my family. I believe I believe you'll be a great firefighter, said Mr. Fluffles. And you'll be able to do some beyond fire missions, said Brownie. Well, I suppose that would make me a hero like all of you, said Anna. Then she looked over at Hiko, Samuel, and Julie and said, Speaking of heroes, it seems you three didn't even have to wait until you got older to become heroes. What? Well, I had to do what I could to save my grandparents, said Hiko. And there was no way I was going to let him go alone, said Julie. Neither would I, said Samuel. And after that big adventure and rescue, I decided I wouldn't be just a hero, but a superhero. That's right, everyone, said Flora in an excited tone. He's the supreme star striker, the Shreveport defender that strikes like a star, with me as his adorable partner, Flora. Very adorable. Now that's cool, said Tim. So do you have any? So you have superpowers too? Asked Melina. Well, not exactly, said Samuel, but I have been debating on that. The gadgets I use are great, but some superpowers would be nice against some of the enemies we've encountered. You could try having both, said Gerald. Hey, yeah, like the best of both worlds, said Hiko. Now the only question is, what superpowers would you have? I would say solar powers like Ultra Cat, but maybe slightly different. Everyone thought for a moment, and then Samuel said, I got it. Since I mentioned that I strike like a star, I could have star powers with super speed and flight. That's a great idea, agreed Tim. No enemy would ever see it coming. But how would star powers work? Asked Melina. Brian explained. It would allow him to emit exploding bursts of hydrogen and helium together, like an actual star in the solar system. Also, it'd be the source of his speed and flight. That means I would move faster than a shooting star, said Samuel. However, that kind of power is very risky, warned Billy. Due to how hot stars are, you could possibly create a solar flare or wind like the sun. If you do end up with that kind of power, you should practice learning how to focus it, said Julie. Don't worry, you guys, said Flora. He'll be fine as long as I'm around. That may be, said Julie, but learning how to focus your powers is still important. Sensei Fluffles had to help me learn how to focus when I discovered my powers through samurai training. I suppose that would be a good idea, said Samuel. I might learn some really cool moves and combos like in wrestling and football to use on the bad guys. Indeed, said Julie. And I suggest. That's all fine and dandy, Julie, interrupted Dashdale. But if you really want to learn some combos and to be a great superhero, I can be the one to train you. You're going to train him? Asked Emily suspiciously. Yes, I will, answered Dashdale. After all, I am also a superhero myself. I am the Squirrel Avenger. Under this identity, I've taken on many criminals here in Barnhart City and even had to help my best friend Brownie a few times. I've also fought crime alongside the grand superheroes of the Johnson region like Ultra Cat, Thor the Thunder Rabbit, Aqua Pig, and even Food Cat and Food Bear. All in your imagination, said Brownie. Then he turned to Emily and the kids and explained, you see, Gerald, Billy, and me, all of us all used to watch the Squirrel Avenger on TV with Dashtail at his house while eating some tasty chicken nuggets. Hmm? Yeah, I remember that, said Billy. Dashtail's mom cooked the best chicken nuggets, and they were tasty. Mmm. Yeah, especially with that barbecue dipper sauce, said Gerald, licking his lips. Mmm. Hickory smoke. That's my favorite. What's your favorite barbecue sauce? Anyway, continued Brownie, Dashtail would always dress up like the Squirrel Avenger to watch the show and claim that it was him on the show. Oh, and also about this right here, what they just mentioned about the Squirrel Avenger. This is actually their version of Darkwing Duck, kind of. Darkwing Duck is sort of a parody of superheroes from Disney. And also, when I was in high school, if those of y'all that didn't, hear me say it in an earlier video, I did mention that, the creation of Star Striker was based off. I was inspired to create Star Striker from watching Static Shock, superhero Static Shock, woohoo! And when I watched Static Shock back in high school, I remember that's when I even had made a Star Striker, my first Star Striker costume, which looks similar to this, but only difference is it was sleeveless. Matter of fact, look, it's actually more like this style on the cover. So I actually made a Star Trek costume that I would wear around the house. Had a bath towel I used for a cape and everything, and I always would put that on and be eating chicken nuggets when I was watching Static Shock. And I tell you some, I used to, how Superman wears his costume under his clothes. I used to would put on my Star Striker costume under my school uniform, and it was actually well hidden. And let me tell you, there was sometimes I had a white uniform shirt on, and you still could not see the costume under there. Pretty well hidden, and like when like we had gym class in high school, I would have to wait till nobody was looking. I just got lucky. No, when nobody was looking, like in a certain area of the locker room, and I would change out of my school uniform into the gym uniform, and since the gym uniform had shorts, I would the Star Trek costume I had sweatpants with the costume, so I would roll those sweatpants like up real high to be hidden under my gym shorts. And even the cape was hidden under my gym clothes. And I had the mask, and I had stuff like the mask and my gloves in my backpack there. So yeah, but the rest of it, yeah, was kind of underneath. Yeah, so that's how I would have my costume under my school clothes, and nobody knew I had that on. Not even my folks. So you know how they say us high schoolers, teenagers, we do some crazy things. That was one of the crazy things I did back in high school. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Any of y'all ever tried, or just did something kind of spontaneous or wacky when you was in high school like that, especially something that you didn't want your folks to find out there. All in good, not too bad though. I'm just saying, but we have that, there's that certain thing we like to do then, but like you say, folks be like, no, don't you do that, don't do that. And we want to sneak and do it anyway. Yeah, teenagers. Teenagers, am I right? Oh, yeah. So, well, it could be, said Dashtail. I doubt it, said Gerald. The Squirrel Avenger's civilian name was Merrick Burnham, and the actor who played him is Jake Rawlings, said Billy. Okay, said Dashtail angrily, but we still stood with the Johnson Region superheroes. Actually, he didn't. Mel's like, oh my god, Ivan Ooze. Oh yeah, I know that line. Yeah. Mel's like, teenagers. So Zordon's still having children do his dirty work for him. Huh, not much change. Well, meet my kids. It'd be funny if I don't know if anybody ever did. You know how they make parodies of power. Well, parodies of pretty much everything. People parody most everything. But wouldn't that be kind of funny if just this scene right here where you say "Meet my kids"? If somebody made a parody of that scene, and instead of the Ivan Ooze army, you see Bebe kids pop up. Meet my kids, and then you see Bebe kids. Hey, we don't die, we multiply. and the Power Rangers have to fight Bebe kids and evil Bebe kids. Why not? I mean, I had the Power Rangers fighting Mr. Peanut in one video. Yeah. Oh my goodness, baby. that would be a tough battle, especially if they actually multiply too, and there's already more than one of them. Say, there are too many of them. We can't handle them. You think they're tough now? Wait till if you think there's too much for you now, Rangers, then let me make them. Let me take my magic ball and make baby kids grow. Oh yeah. Oh, I don't know if the Zords be able to handle baby kids there. Say, ooh, that they might end up overpowering them like the way Rita's brother Rito did there. And then they have to come back with the Ninja Zords. Yeah. So, let's see what we got. Oh yeah. Uh, and the closest you got to any superheroes was the Christmas parade they marched in, said Brownie. You tried to sneak past the rope and get in it with Ultra Cat. But once you shouted out to them, the security guards put you back behind the rope. Wow. What an honorable moment for the Squirrel Avenger, said Emily sarcastically. Maybe I should get your autograph. Why you? Dashtail shouted, starting to charge at Emily. But Brownie stopped him and said, That's enough. Now back to what you were saying, Julie. Well, started Julie. I was also going to suggest some training for you too, Hiko. I know you I know you did a great job with your powers against Skeleton, but there's always room to advance and get better. Okay, Naomi. Julie, said Hiko, embarrassed by his error. Julie giggled softly as Samuel elbowed Hiko playfully and said, Ooh, thinking about your little Princess Naomi. Probably wondering if she'll kiss him again, said Tim, grinning. Aww, said Melina, that would be so romantic, you lucky boy. Well, I was starting to wonder if she would show up today, said Hiko. I think she might know the fox that tried to help us in Skeleton's den. A fox, you say? Said Julie. Yeah, said Hiko. We don't know her name, but she has blue and white fur and ice powers. It's possible she might know, said Melina, considering her mysterious disappearance and reappearance after you all came back. And I thought I was mysterious, said Flora. Then she looked at Samuel and said, I guess you boys are really lucky to have girls like me and Naomi. I guess so, said Samuel. After everyone finished their breakfast, all the kids got on the bus with Brownie, which he had gotten for the occasion. Emily joined them too to make sure nothing bad happened to the kids. As they toured through Barnhart City, Brownie pointed out and showed them around different areas. Hiko, Samuel, and Brian noticed that most of Barnhart looked identical to Shreveport, Louisiana. After the tour, everyone had lunch at the Burger Port and played in a nearby park until it was time for Hiko, Samuel, and Brian to go home. They mentioned to everyone about a special event. After that, they said goodbye to everyone. Hiko used his Destiny Watch to transport Samuel, Brian, and himself back to Granny's and Big Papa's den. Back Granny and Big Papa's house in the den. Big Papa was sleeping in his easy chair, and Granny walked in the room as the boys arrived. "Ooh, y'all just in time," she said. But Big Papa awoke in a panic, trying to get up while shouting, Esther, watch out for the dragon! I'll save you! Archie, settle down, said Granny, calming Big Papa down. "Oh, but the dragon!" shouted Big Papa again. "Hiko took care of the dragon," said Granny. Big Papa sighed in relief and said, that's right. Oh, and thank the Lord God Almighty. I thought that dragon was in the house and was about to knock me down on my back again. Well, let's hope that doesn't happen again, cat dash it, said Granny. You're lucky that Mr. You're lucky that Mr. Fluffles was able to get your back in place, said Hiko. You telling me. Also, the whole thing about Big Papa's back, that actually, um, that's another reference that actually did happen. My Big Papa, back when I was in elementary, he did, because I think it was, something on his job that caused it. I think that's what it was. But his back, something that really hurt his back to the point he had to go to the hospital for it. So yeah, it's kind of a reference to that there. Uh, but when he was reading when I was telling him about my what I was putting into my books and everything, he's like, "Oh, don't put me with no back pain now." So that's why I put here that Mr. Fluffles had got his back in place there. Say, which I mean, it makes sense. I mean, yeah, you would want to have him go throughout the whole series with it, but at least you get a small reference to it there. Yeah. Chapter 3. Get a little more water here. Ooh, that's better. Let me see something here. Ooh. All right. Okay, I was checking what I got on my phone here. All right. Chapter 3. That evening around 6 o'clock, a meet and greet party started at Samuel's house. In the backyard, he and Lisa, along with Brian and some of the neighbors, were gathered to welcome some of the new neighbors. As the adults started mingling, Samuel and Brian began chatting with a boy all dressed up in a suit. It seems like you're a bit overdressed, buddy," said Samuel. The boy chuckled a bit and said, "My father said the same thing, but I wanted to make an extra good impression." Your your father? Said Brian. The boy pointed at his father by the punch bowl nearby and said, "He recently adopted me last week." So so your dad, I mean, your father is Mr. Marcus, the owner of the youth center near the Rosa Airport on Pasadena Avenue? Asked Samuel. "That's right," answered the boy. "Hey, you're so lucky," said Brian. "A lot of people love to hang out there." Got that right, said Samuel. Then the boys noticed two pretty girls approached them and politely introduced themselves. Bonjour, messieurs. I am An- I am Angela Ann Pierre, and I'm her sister, Monet Chanel Pierre. Well, I'm Samuel E. Princeton, but you can call me Sammy for short. And I'm Brian Valentino Robinson, or the Brahman for short. And my name is Calvin Wayne, said the boy, but I'm afraid I don't have a nickname. It's okay, said Monet. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Indeed. And since you said bonjour, I'm assuming that you two are from France. Oui, Monsieur Samuel, said Angela. Paris, France to be exact. Interesting, said Calvin. I'm from I'm from Ethiopia in Africa. Hey, Moses mentioned Ethiopia in the Ten Commandments movie, said Brian. I remember that, said Samuel, especially when he introduced the people from there and they played that music that sounded like what they played in the scene from The Lion King when Simba was following Rafiki. I remember seeing those movies, said Calvin. But at the same time, there was a meet and greet party in the neighborhood circle near Hiko's house. Hiko and his mom, Yolanda, joined the party to meet their new neighbors, Alberto and Chio Ricky. Then, to Hiko's surprise, their daughter was Naomi. She was even wearing her maroon dress, that which she wore in Yumeko. As everyone started mingling, Hiko and Naomi chatted. I did I did not know that you lived here, said Naomi. Born and raised, said Hiko. Does that mean your friend Samuel lives here too? Asked Naomi. He sure does, answered Hiko. But he's in a different neighborhood, about 10 or 15 minutes from here. So how long have you two been friends? Ever since kindergarten. I had started taking piano lessons from his mom, Mrs. Princeton, and we've been friends ever since. That is wonderful. I am really glad to know that I am now living near you and Samuel as my new friends. Well, I'm definitely glad to have you here in the neighborhood. By the way, where are you and your parents from? I was born and raised in my father's hometown, Milan, Italy, but my mother is from Tokyo, Japan. Hmm. So we hear Naomi is part Italian, part Japanese there, but she's more in tune with her Italian roots, though. Chapter 4. 2 hours later, at the party at Samuel's house, everyone noticed that Flora. Nobody noticed that Flora appeared. She quickly made her wings vanish and turned her outfit into a lovely dress. Then she spotted Samuel and Brian talking to Calvin, Angela, and Monet. Flora noticed Angela getting closer to Samuel and smiling with soft giggles at some of his comments. Flora's face became as red as her dress for a minute as she approached them. When Flora stood behind Samuel, Angela noticed her and said, Bonjour, mademoiselle. Samuel and Brian turned around and looked. Then, out of shock, they both spit out their fruit punch and shouted together, Flora! Oh, is she a friend of yours? Asked Calvin. Flora quickly said, Yes, I am, to Brian. Then she put her arm around Samuel and said, But as for my little Sammy, I'm his girlfriend. Girlfriend? Shouted Brian. Angela and Monet looked in shock and confusion. Then Samuel said, Flora, can I speak to you alone in the house, please? Flora took a deep breath and forced a smile as she looked at Samuel and responded, Very well then, Sammy. Samuel quickly rushed Flora inside the house to the living room. Once he saw they were alone, he said, "What are you doing here?" "I was hoping to go patrol the city with you after this event you mentioned," said Flora. But now I see why it's so special, and possibly why I wasn't invited. It looks like you and the fellas wanted to hang out with some of the pretty girls from your world. You didn't think I would find Hey, you didn't think I would find out. Hey, you didn't think I would find out. Flora, it's not like that, explained Samuel. This is a meet and greet to get to know our new neighbors. Oh boy. Hey. Well, you seem to be really close to one of those French girls, said Flora. They are two of the new neighbors, said Samuel. So you're not going to replace me with one of them as your girlfriend? Asked Flora. Honestly, I didn't think we were on that level, said Samuel. Then what were you thinking when you kissed my hand and asked me out on a date when we first met? The kiss was just out of courtesy, and technically I said a nice dinner and a movie. That would be our way of getting to know each other. Then later, if we started liking each other more, we could possibly become a girlfriend and boyfriend. As my mom told me with a crush I had last year, a good relationship has to be taken slowly and not rushed. So does that mean later we can be a couple, Sammy? Well, if things work out with us as good friends, it would be a possibility. As Samuel started wrapping up the conversation, a crab shaped spaceship hovered over the house. Nobody saw it because it was invisible. Inside the ship was the crooks from last night, House, Monty, and Guy, and their boss. Once they got their crab like battle armor on, the boss said, "All right, bozos, time to receive the answer to our problem." A few moments later, the boss fired the ship's laser at the lake nearby, causing a small wave of water to splash everyone. As everybody got the water out their eyes, the ship became visible and beamed the crooks into the yard, fully armored up. Everyone was frightened, thinking that the crooks were crab aliens until they revealed their faces. The boss spoke boldly. "Everybody listen up! And don't try anything funny or else! You don't want to find out what or else is!" "Who are you?" asked Lisa. "What do you want?" The boss answered, "My name is Alton Jaggins, one of the top-ranked hitmen known as AJ the Master Shot. And I'm here looking for Star Striker. Our tracking systems detected that he's in the area. So either someone here can offer to lead us to him, or just hope that he sees what's going on and come meet to meet his dude. However, for every hour that passes if that brat doesn't show up, we're gonna start blasting you all one at a time." House quickly rushed over, grabbed Angela, and said, "Starting with this one." Monet, along with her and Angela's mom, Rebecca Pierre, rushed toward Angela to save her, but Monty and Guy grabbed them, saying, "Don't even think about it." AJ pointed his blaster at Rebecca and Monet, and House did the same to Angela, saying, "Looks like you all picked the wrong evening to attend the party, ladies." AJ taunted the people more as Samuel made a decision. He said to Flora, "We have to save the neighbors." "Very well, but how?" said Flora. Samuel showed Flora a picture in the den and said, "I need you to first poof the crooks in their ship far down the lake to the Blanchard Beach, showing this picture. Then poof me down there to take care of them. Also, if it's possible, see if you can put everyone to sleep and wake them up after we defeat these crooks." "Okay, but shouldn't we get Brownie, Hiko, or even Julie to help us?" asked Flora. Only as a backup if necessary," said Samuel. "But as for now, they said they wanted Star Striker, So I'll give them Star Striker. Let's do this, Flora. Chapter 5. Oh, yeah. Back at the party in Hiko's neighborhood, Hiko and Naomi chatted a long time with each other. In the chat, Hiko briefly shared what he told Samuel about Brownie, a little about Yiro and how they defeated Skelegon, and a little more about himself. Naomi also shared about herself. She mentioned how she spent a lot of time with her parents. One of the things they liked the most was watching romance movies together. Naomi expressed how much she really enjoyed the movies and seeing her parents' romantic romantic affection toward each other. As Naomi was talking, Hiko wondered if her interest in romantic movies was why she kissed him. He was about to ask her when he noticed his watch glow. Yiro appeared to Hiko and Naomi in astral form and said, Hiko, Naomi, I sense that Samuel is in danger. Okay, said Hiko. I'll let my mom know so we can get down there. I will let my parents know so that I can help, said Naomi. Your parents know about Yumeko? Asked Hiko. Yes, answered Naomi. I'll explain more after we help Samuel. They went to alert their parents. Back at Samuel's house, Flora poofed AJ, House, Monty, and Gee to the Blanchard beach, along with their ship, and used some sleeping dust to put everyone else to sleep. Say, what in the world is going on? Asked AJ. Then Samuel appeared as Star Striker and said, You asked to see me? Well, here I am, striking like a star. The Shreveport Defender, Star Striker the Supreme. I don't know how you did this, said AJ, but you got some guts to face us, kid. House, Monty, and Gee, get him! Star quickly threw his smokescreen bombs to blind the Crooks, but their battle armor scanning system allowed them to track Star and dodge the shurikens he threw. Once they spotted Star in the smoke, AJ said, Nice try, Star Striker, but it looks like we got to jump on you. The Crooks started blasting at Star, but quickly realized it was a sand decoy from Flora. After the smoke cleared, they saw her laughing at them and noticed she was wearing a rose-themed superhero costume, fairy wings and a mask. She said, Don't you know? Don't you know a kid and a fairy always wins against a bunch of knuckleheads? A fairy! Exclaimed the Crooks confused. Crooks confused. In their confusion, Star quickly charged at them from behind while spinning his staff around really fast. Then he slammed AJ into the other crooks, knocking them all down into a lump pile on the ground. After that, Star did a spin flip in the air, landed beside Flora, and said, I bet you weren't expecting that, Mr. AJ the Master Shot. Or maybe now you should be called a Master a Joke. Flora magically made a drum set and a cassette tape player appear. Then she played a rim shot on the drums to punctuate the joke, followed by a recording of an audience laughter from the cassette tape player. After the laughing finished, Flora poofed everything away and Star said, I guess we should wrap this up by getting rid of the spaceship with the battle armor. I'll start with the ship, said Flora. She tried to poof inside, but the ship's defense systems taser shocked her and even damaged her wings, causing her to fall to the ground. I gotcha, shouted Star, catching Flora. The crooks got up, laughing as Star held Flora in his arms, and AJ said, Your masked fairy girl's magic won't work against our ship. You probably don't know this, but it's made from Magitech. Magitech, exclaimed Star. That's right, said House. And that's what our battle armor is made from as well. How do you guys have that kind of tech? Asked Star. That's classified information, kid, said Gee. It's not for you to know. And whether we tell you or not, you're not going to be able to remember it once we vaporize you to ashes, said Monty. AJ aimed the ship's lasers at Star Cannon. The ship's laser cannons at Star. Chapter 6. Yolanda arrived at Samuel's house with Hiko and Naomi. They noticed everyone in the backyard still asleep. Hiko noticed some of Flora's sleeping dust and said, I know how we can find Samuel, but we gotta hurry. Back at the beach, AJ fired the ship's laser cannons at Star. Flora woke up and noticed the lasers coming, but before she could speak, Star had already tossed her as far as he could. Star Striker! Shouted Flora just as Star was hit by the laser's full blast. The crooks laughed as the smoke cleared and there was nothing but a burnt blast mark in the sand. Then they looked at Flora. One superhero down, said AJ, and one fairy girl to go. Whatever kind of tricks you're thinking of pulling aren't going to work. So let's end this. Just as the ship was about to fire another blast at Flora, a beam of light hit the ship and it was destroyed. After that, everyone looked at the sky where the beam came from and saw Star Striker flying in the sky. His eyes glowed a bright yellow like the beam, and there was a yellow-colored light aura around him. How did he do that? Exclaimed House. Yeah, he should have been blown to dust, said Gee. It doesn't make any sense, said Monty. Flora snickered. You guys have been cruising in an alien spaceship shaped like a crab, and this is where you draw the line? Well, maybe. Well, anyway, you're in for a major defeat. We'll just see about that, said AJ. Then he looked at Star and shouted, I don't know what you are, kid, but I'm going to destroy you if it's the last thing I do. Well, bring it on, Star shouted back. Hiko, Naomi, and Yolanda arrived just as all the crooks aimed and fired their blasters at Star. And Star shouted, striking starburst! He unleashed a big burst of yellow energy to intercept the beams from the crooks' blasters, but the two struggled to make their attacks hit each other. Then it began to look like the beams from the crooks' blaster were going to win. AJ laughed and mocked Star, saying, give it up, Starboy! Even with your powers, you'll never defeat us by yourself. Or that weak little fairy girl. I'm not weak, and neither is Star Striker, shouted Flora, turning red. Well, we beg to differ, said House. Once we destroy him, you're next. Yeah, you're next, repeated Gee. Yeah, started Mutt. You'll have to copy me, you parrot, snapped House, slapping Gee and Monty's head. Slap. On that note, Hiko became hero and shouted to Samuel, don't listen to them, Star Striker. Just trust and have faith in God, and you can defeat them the same way I defeated Skelegon in the name of Jesus. AJ laughed and said, save your sermon, preacher boy. Your friend up there is toast. Suddenly, Star's energy level started to rise, causing the temperature in the area to heat up. Cooling barrier, said Hero. He encased Yolanda, Naomi, and himself in a magical barrier with cool air. He also placed Flora inside the barrier as well. Star shouted, striking starburst launch combo! Then Star launched toward the crooks like missiles cutting through the beam. And Monty and Gee panicked and ran to get out the way. Where are you going? Shouted AJ. What's the matter with you guys? Shouted House. The very next few minutes, Star tackled AJ and Howson unleashed his starburst energy on them at the same time. The impact caused a small explosion, and when the smoke cleared, AJ and House lay on the ground, and their battle armor was with their battle armor burned. Guess nobody warned you. Somebody could get hurt when you play around with dangerous weapons, said Star. Now, the seventh chapter. Ooh, yeah. At least I'm almost done now. Okay. Guess that's all of it in there. Okay. Yiro turned back to Hiko and rushed over beside Star along with Naomi, Yolanda, and Flora. After that, all the remaining battle armor was magically taken off the crooks, leaving them in their regular clothes, and then they were sucked in a vortex. I wonder where they got taken to, asked Hiko. I assumed to Yumeko, said Flora. Why do you assume they would be taken there? Asked Naomi. They were using Magitech, said Star. So whoever gave it to them must have taken them back to Yumiko. And then there's no telling what we're in for now, said Hiko. Well, Hiko, started Yolanda, your granny and Big Papa told your uncles and me about their adventures in Yumiko, which involved some various dangers from time to time. After all, that world is a manifestation of people's dreams and imagination. However, where there's dreams comes nightmares, and that results in the evil forces that creates those dangers. We all need to be on our guard and ready for anything, good or bad. Everyone nodded in agreement. After that, Star said to Flora, well, since the battle's over, say, let's get back to our meet and greet parties for now. You got it, Star Striker, said Flora with excitement. Flora used her magic to poof Hiko, Yolanda, and Naomi back to their neighborhood party, and her and Star Striker went back to the living room of his house. Everyone in the backyard was still asleep. Flora became a little sad and said to Star, I I guess you want me to poof you back into your regular clothes, wake everyone up, and go back to Yumiko while you finish your party. Like, actually, you can stay for the party if you like, said Star. Also, I want to apologize about earlier. It is true that I kissed your hand out of courtesy, but I was also flirting with you a little. At that moment, I wasn't really thinking about my actions, and of that kiss lead and the fact of that kiss leading you on. Flora lit up with a smile and asked, "So, do you want us to become a boyfriend and girlfriend?" "Only if things work out with us as good friends first," said Star. "Okay, then. I'll be a really good friend and fairy partner for you." "Thanks. Now, there's only one thing we need to take care of before resuming the party." And in chapter 8, Flora magically woke everyone up in the backyard as they started wondering what was going on. They saw and looked like and what looked like a shooting star in the sky heading toward them. Eventually, they noticed it was Star Striker and cleared a space as he did his superhero landing. "Hey everyone," said Star. "Thought I'd drop by, make sure you're all okay after dealing with those crabby party crashers that showed up earlier looking for me. I do apologize for the inconvenience they caused you all." "So you must be Star Striker," said Calvin. "That's right, bro," said Star. "Oui, oui, monsieur," said Monet. "I like the name. It sounds interesting." "Out of curiosity, why do you call yourself Star Striker?" asked Angela. Star smiled and explained, "It's because I'm the Shreveport defender that strikes like a star." "That's definitely going to become a trademark line," thought Brian. "Now that the introductions are out the way, I'll let my partner get things back in order," said Star. On that note, Flora appeared. Still in her rose-themed superhero costume, She used her magic to quickly fix everything that was damaged earlier and even enhance some things. Now that's très magnifique, said Angela. Why, thank you, said Flora. Or Javar Marcy. Now it's Javari Mercy. But that was close, said Angela. And Doreen, which means you're welcome. And and your outfit is très magnifique as well, said Monet. I would love to design something like that, by the way. Do you have a superhero name? You can call me Rose Wing, said Flora. The blooming magic at the side of the star. She winked at Star. Then Star said, I guess with the party back in place, that's our cue to go. But don't worry, we'll be keeping an eye on the city to keep y'all safe from any more troublemakers. See ya. Rosewing poofed her and Star away with roses falling from the sky. Everyone was amazed at what they saw except for Calvin, who looked a little upset. A moment later, Lisa looked around and asked, has anyone seen Samuel? Well, started Brian. Uh-oh. I'm getting into the last page. What turn here? Ah, okay. Chapter 9. Hey everyone, said a voice. Everyone looked and saw Samuel in his regular clothes arrive with Flora back in her red dress and her wings hidden. Lisa rushed over and hugged Samuel tightly for a moment. Oh, thank God you're okay. Where were you? I just had to talk to my new friend, said Samuel. I remember you. She said she was your girlfriend, said Calvin. Girlfriend? Asked Lisa suspiciously. That was that was a misunderstanding, explained Samuel. Mom, this is Flora. We're getting to know each other as friends first, just like you told me. I should hope so, said Lisa. Hey, don't worry, said Flora. Samuel explained the whole thing to me. By the way, nice to meet you, Miss Princeton. Well, all right, said Lisa. It's nice to meet you too. Now, with that all cleared up, let's finish the party. The party resumed, but Angela was a little suspicious. She wondered if Samuel and Flora were Star Striker and Rosewing and where they came from. Back in Yumeko, Ramon arrived at the tech lab in the secret facility hidden underground. The savage parts of the Crook's battle armor in the spaceship were stored here. Looks like those knuckle. It looks like those knuckleheads failed to obtain any of the technology from the all-time Discovery Center, he said. They only had one job to do, and they couldn't even do that, said a voice approaching Ramon. And to make things worse, some mass brat stands in the way of my operation. Ramon grinned, and as he said, I know a way to find him if you're interested. The voice was revealed to be Asen Silverstone. He said, I won't be requiring your services this time. I have a special operative to handle this problem along with his family. Oh boy. And for the final chapter 10, back in the real world, the next morning at Angela Monet's house, Rebecca was waiting for Marcus Waynes to take her to the school board for a job interview as a school teacher. Once Marcus got there along with Calvin, he had to wait a while for Rebecca to finish getting ready. During the wait, the girls took Calvin to the living room to chat. Monet also showed him her designs, which were different versions of Star Striker and Rosewing's costume. Angela noticed that Calvin just looked at Monet unenthusiastic with sighs and groans. He wasn't acting the same way he did last night when they first met. Eventually, Calvin said, that's great, Monique. Javas reminds me, Monsieur Calvin, said Monet. And by the way, it's Monet. Monet, Chanel, Pierre. Oh, okay, Moesha, said Cal. Monet. Calvin sighed. I'm sorry, girls. I'm just a little upset about last night. Well, I admit I didn't like those crab guys endangering us, especially my sister, said Monet. But at least that superhero Star Striker and his partner Rosewing saved us. Calvin sighed deeper, and Angela said, hey, let's watch some TV for a bit. Sounds good to me, said Monet. Once she turned the TV on, the theme for the Channel 9 News came on. Monet got excited and said, great timing. We can see if there's any extra information about what happened last night in the neighborhood. The news anchor Tanya Wesley and Trent Winifred introduced themselves. Then they went right to reporting the news. First in the day's news, security camera caught the three robbers trying to steal machines from the All Tech Discovery Center, said Tanya. Their faces were covered in masks, but what's more mysterious is that something or someone stopped them from succeeding. Also, last night, an anonymous eyewitness left video evidence of an attack at a at a neighbor meet and greet party. Continued Trent. The footage shows four men in crab armor and a crab-shaped aircraft. People claim it was a UFO and that the men were aliens. They were making demands for a kid called Star Striker. Some people claim Star Striker was a superhero, said Tanya. And the footage also shows an epic battle involving the men in his superhero. The men in this superhero. Let's show the footage. Everyone watched the footage that showed a montage of AJ, House, Monty, and Geek were searching for Star Striker up to the battle at the Blanchard Beach. But all this really happened, said Monet. The battle, of course. I never thought that superheroes would exist. It's amazing that all this really happened. The battle, of course. I never thought that superheroes would exist, said Angela. I know, right? Said Monet. I would like to find out how this is possible, said Angela. Me too. Yeah, we can become superheroes of our own. Oh yeah, maybe I lost my place a little bit there. Superheroes of our and team up with him. Imagine the costumes I could design. I guess Monet gonna be like Edna Mode. No keeps. Calvin watched the footage, but he wasn't very happy about it. After the footage was shown, Tanya said, nobody knows for sure where the criminals are now, but an investigation is being done to find out along with where their weapons and aircraft came from. Trent added, in addition, another investigation is being done to see if they were the ones performing the robbery at the All-Time Discovery Center. We should have answers on that later today, but first, look at the weather. Calvin grabbed the remote and started changing the channel. Monet turned around and said, hey, we were watching that. I really don't want to hear more about Star Striker or any superheroes, said Calvin. Why not? Asked Monet. I really don't like superheroes, said Calvin. But two superheroes just saved us, said Monet. How can you not like them? I just don't see the appeal, said Calvin. It may seem like they saved us, but those crab-dressed crooks showed up looking for Star Striker, making him the cause of the problem. That doesn't mean, started Monet, but Angela stopped her. Hold on, everybody. Said Angela, why don't we try to find the superheroes and learn more about them? Then we'll know if they're completely trustworthy. And if so, then maybe you'll change your mind, Calvin. I highly doubt it, said Calvin. But however, for right now, let's go watch something else, please. To be continued. Of course, I already showed the picture of Flora there. Yeah. Star Striker's fairy partner at the moment, though. All right, so we've gotten through this whole book, and oh boy, I had to really kind of stretch because I was, yeah, I know, like I told you earlier, I had to do a midnight shift, early the other day, there midnight, then got off right about like 10 o'clock in the morning there, so oh boy, yeah, like I say, it won't be long. I'll be hitting the hay to rest up from all that there. So, whoo, so yeah, like I said, not gonna hold you guys any longer. Like I say, let us like, share, and subscribe. Definitely get some of our available books like what I just read to you guys. And also definitely support us on that Patreon, just like Iceman Universe, and also support him on Patreon. Check out his stuff, like current still watching his Hey Arnold, I've already watched his Ed and Eddie reactions. He's also got Naruto and One Piece on there, and also definitely check out and support our other uh, our other Miracle Crew members like Big Sis Casey, Queen Tina, and of course EJ the Supreme. Yeah, on the one EJS channel there. But yeah, all the links to our YouTube channels and stuff like that is in the description box. Definitely check us all out and show us your support. Uh, and just like I say, Iceman Universal support as well as a Patreon like me. And also definitely just like you hang out with us in these live streams, definitely hang out with us on Discord and on Facebook. Definitely selling some stuff on the Macari app and everything. Say, look, I got okay, well, and it's on the Macari app and everything. And like you say, nothing else. We will definitely see y'all in the next video. Like I said, I look forward to next week of reading Heroes of Dreams. Like I say, unless something else comes up, but nothing else. Yes, we'll be getting into next. Like I said, and till then, we'll see y'all later. Y'all take care, everybody.